Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Eric from Tech. Was lucky enough to get the latest budget phone from POCO, which is the POCO M3, and was also lucky enough to get it at the early bird price. With all the hype surrounding this phone, is it still more than you expect? Let's find out in this quick unboxing video, guys. So what are we waiting for? Let's get this box open. Okay, so this model that I've got is the 4GB and 128GB version and is the coral blue. So let's find out what's inside. You've got POCO, this small box. Let's see what's in here. So you've got the SIM ejector tool over there, the user guides, warranty card, and a free jelly case. The phone, let's put it aside for now and let's see what else is in here. Okay, so you've got USB-C cable. So this is a 22-watt charging brick, but the phone can support up to 18 watts of fast charging. Let's see what else is in here. Nothing else really. Alright, so let's open the phone. So here's the phone, guys. So like I said, this is the coral blue color and has a matte finish, but this is a plastic back. It's not like the ones that come on Samsung's budget phones or mid-range phones where it is plastic but it looks like glass and they call it plastic. This is definitely plastic, but I like the feel. It has a matte feel to it, and of course it doesn't leave fingerprints. And you can see the camera bump there in this kind of design, so it looks like that OnePlus Cyberpunk design. I'm a fan of it. So let's turn it on, guys. So let's talk about the display, guys. This display is a 6.53-inch IPS LCD, which has a typical brightness of 400 nits. I haven't tested it out yet in direct sunlight, but they did say that it gets pretty bright, so you're not going to have any issues when using it in direct sunlight. And for this price point, I'm pleasantly surprised that it actually has a full HD plus display, or 1080 by 2340, and it has a 395 ppi, or pixels per inch. On the front, it is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 3, and as I mentioned before, the back is plastic. Now in terms of color, this is the cool blue, but it does come in two other color variants, which is the Power Black and the POCO Yellow. It is still pretty hard to get your hands on it, as it's pretty much out of stock in most of the places I looked at. So I do consider myself lucky that I got my hands on it this early. As for the operating system, this is already running Android 10, and it's on the MIUI 12 skin, or the POCO skin. Let's talk about the chipset on this. The POCO M3 has the Snapdragon 662, and memory options for this come in 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. The phone comes in a higher variant, but unfortunately it still only comes with 4GB of RAM, which might not be enough for some of the more demanding games that have come out recently. But if you're just gonna use it for media consumption, then I think that 4GB of RAM will be more than enough. One good thing though is that this has microSD support, so let's see where it is. Alright, so it's a tri-card slot, so if you have the microSD here, SIM 1 and SIM 2. No 5G support on the phone, but at this price point, I don't think that's possible. There's only a small price difference between the base variant of 64GB versus the 128GB, but the 64GB version only has UFS 2.1, while the 128GB has UFS 2.2. Might not be noticeable in day-to-day use, but it's good to know that there is a bit of a performance difference between the two. Let's talk about the cameras next. So as you saw before, this has a triple camera system. So it has a 48 megapixel primary or wide, and it has a 2 megapixel macro and 2 megapixel depth camera. Kinda disappointed that it doesn't have an ultra wide. I'd rather take an ultra wide camera versus the macro. In terms of video support, you can record up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. So for those looking for 4K video, don't look for it for this phone, and at this price point, I don't think that's going to be possible as well. The selfie camera on the other hand is only 8 megapixels, but it will be good enough for most scenarios. One of the key points that the POCO M3 actually boasts is the huge battery, which is 6000 mAh. And despite having a battery that big, the phone isn't really that heavy. And like I said, the phone supports fast charging 18 watts. And I am curious to know how long it's going to take to charge the phone from 0 to 100. Some of the other key features that I want to discuss here is that it has a side-mounted fingerprint sensor. Let's test it out, guys. Well, not the fastest I've seen. Might have to do with the animation, but seems to be pretty accurate. And of course, you've still got the headphone jack up there. And it has an IR blaster. So if you want to use it as a remote control of some sort, then that option is still there. One of the things that I really like about the phone is that it has dual speakers. I usually do a sound or speaker test on my unboxing videos, and this is not going to be any different. So let me just load up YouTube real quick here, guys. Speakers are not too bad, to be honest. It does get pretty loud. I do still think that the ROG2 and the ROG3 still has the best sounding speakers out of the phone. Let me run a couple of benchmarks on the phone so you can see how well it performs and whether it's going to be a good buy at this price point. So let's load up Antutu real quick here, guys.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go.
Alright, so it did a score of 172,828. Not too bad for this price point. It did get to a maximum of 38.5 degrees and the battery only went down by 2%. So with this 6000 milliamp hour battery, you're going to get a lot of game time in it. Speaking of gaming, I actually installed League of Legends on it, so I wanted to show you guys how well it runs. I'm going to put the graphics setting at the highest and put it at 60 frames per second and see how it goes. So the max texture quality you can get is medium. You can go to high. Effects quality is medium. Resolution is set to high. 60 frames per second. Model quality is set to high. Let's do character inking as well. Let's do one quick game and see how it goes. So as you saw, guys, this is still pretty good for gaming. Despite being a budget phone, it does game pretty well. I tried it on Mobile Legends, but that doesn't have the high frame rate mode yet. But in League of Legends it does support 60 frames per second, so it's a bit more optimized for this game. And it does show that the phone is pretty capable of gaming. So we'll end this quick unboxing video here, guys. For the upcoming holidays, I'm going to be giving away one POCO M3 to one lucky winner. Raffle mechanics can be found on my Facebook page, EGOT-Tech. So head on over to my Facebook page, follow the instructions, and you might walk away with one POCO M3 this holiday. So with that said, as usual, like and subscribe, hit that bell icon notification, and see you all in my next one.